I was sent out to a small town in northern Pennsylvania for work, the kind of place where everything closes early and half the buildings look abandoned. I repair commercial refrigeration, so I travel a lot, but something about this town felt off from the moment I arrived. My company booked me into the only motel with available rooms. It sat on the edge of town, quiet, isolated, with a single row of rooms facing a dim parking lot. There were only a handful of cars there when I pulled in. Inside the office, it smelled like chemicals and stale coffee. The woman working the desk seemed friendly enough, but she kept glancing past me like she was watching something outside. When she handed me the key, she said something strange. "If anyone knocks on your door tonight, don't open it, unless it's me or the owner." She said it casually, like it was normal. Then she added, "If you hear anything outside, just call the office. Don't go out there." I asked if something had happened before. She just shrugged and said there were people passing through sometimes. That didn't sit right with me, but I was tired, so I let it go. My room was near the end of the building. It was old, worn down, with burn marks on the furniture and stains in the carpet. Nothing unusual for a cheap roadside motel. Later that night, I grabbed food and came back. That's when I noticed the truck. An older, dark green pickup parked a couple spaces away. The engine was running, but the headlights were off. There was a man sitting inside. He didn't look at me, not even once. He just sat there, perfectly still, hands on the wheel. I told myself he was waiting for someone and went inside. A while later, I heard footsteps outside my door. At first, I ignored it, but then they stopped right outside. No knock, no key in the lock, just silence. Then the footsteps continued. A minute later, they came back. Stopped again. Still nothing. That's when I started paying attention. Later, there was a knock. Soft. Controlled. I went to the door and checked through the peephole. No one was there. That uneasy feeling in my stomach started growing. I locked the door again, even though it was already locked, and went back toward the bed. That's when I noticed the curtain had shifted slightly. Not enough to see out, but enough to realize someone could be looking in. I shut it completely and turned off the light. I didn't sleep. Sometime later, I heard a faint metallic sound near the door, like something scraping against the lock. I moved slowly and looked through the peephole again. This time, I saw someone. They were crouched low, just out of full view. I could only see part of a dark cap and a shoulder. They stayed there for a few seconds, then suddenly stood up and walked away quickly. That's when I called the front desk. The woman's tone changed immediately when I told her someone had been outside my door. She told me to stay inside, not to open the door for anything. A vehicle drove through the lot shortly after. Then everything went quiet again. But I didn't feel safe, not even a little. I eventually fell asleep, but woke up to the sound of my truck alarm going off. I looked outside. A man was standing at my driver's side door. He had it open. He paused, then slowly turned his head directly toward my room, like he knew I was watching. Then he shut the door and walked off into the darkness. I called the police. They showed up, checked everything, but nothing was stolen. One of them even asked if I was sure I locked the truck. But one older officer seemed more concerned. After hearing everything, he told me something I didn't like at all. "If anything like this happens again, don't open your door, for any reason, and leave in the morning." The way he said it made it clear this wasn't random. Still, I stayed one more night. Big mistake. That evening, the same truck came back. Same spot. Lights off. Watching. Later, I heard something at the window this time. A soft tapping. Then, something slowly dragging down the glass. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I knew whoever was out there knew I was inside. Then I heard movement in the room next to mine. That room had been empty, but now it sounded like someone was inside quietly moving around, trying not to be heard. That's when I called 911. While I was on the phone, I heard a heavy impact against the wall behind my bed. Then, silence. Then something even worse. The bathroom window started moving, opening, just slightly. I ran over and forced it shut. Something pushed back from the other side. Not hard, but enough. At that point, I knew there wasn't just one person. There were multiple, and they were trying to get in. I blocked the door with a chair and waited. Then finally, headlights flooded the room. Police. As soon as they arrived, I heard people running, more than one. They later found pry marks on my truck and on the door of the empty room next to mine. And then one officer told me the truth. There had been other incidents. Men traveling alone, staying in that same motel. People watching them, following them, trying to get inside. Before I left, I checked under the bed. I don't know why. I just did. And that's where I found it. A small piece of paper. On it was my room number and my license plate. That's when it hit me. They hadn't just chosen me that night. They had been watching me the entire time. I left immediately. Didn't finish the job. Didn't go back. And I never stayed in a place like that again. If you like the story, please like and subscribe. Let's try to get 1,000 subscribers by summer. We'll see you in the next video. And you be careful which motels you stay in.